Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about the laser and its applications. So laser, which is an acronym for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiations. So it is a device which produces coherent beam of optical radiation when it is undergoing a stimulated transition from can be due to the electronic, ionic or molecular transitions. And when it go back to the original state, to the ground state, by stimulated emission, it emits a photon. So such light sources are called laser light source. So in order to understand better, we need to know about different atomic transitions happening in atoms. So we know that in an atom, there is a central nucleus surrounded by electrons which should be in different energy states. So the electrons which is close to the nucleus will be having lowest energy, and the electron which is away from the orbitals, away from the nucleus, which will be having higher energy states. So when these electrons which get an energy can be either by thermal or optical radiations, it can go to the higher energy states, and it is an unstable state. When it goes to the higher energy state, it is not a stable state, it goes back to the original state. In order to understand it better, let us consider two energy systems. Let's see, this is E1 and E2. This is a two energy system where this E1 represents the ground state and E2 represents the excited state. So consider one electron in this level, in the ground state level. So when there is a light energy falls on this electron, it gets some energy so that it will excited to the higher states. So this is the excited state. So now this electron has been reached at the excited level. So this is called the stimulated absorptions, because this process is stimulated by a incoming photon. Now the electron is at the excited state. So this is not a stable state. So normally when it reaches the higher state, it will stay there for a very short interval of time. For example, about 10 raised to minus 8 or 10 raised to minus 9 seconds. After that, it decay back to its original state, that is the ground level, because that is the stable state. So this decay process, which is happening spontaneously. So the stimulated absorbed electron at the higher level will be going back to its original state by emitting a photon of energy h nu. So in order to understand it better, we need to know about the photoelectric effect, which consider the stream of photons. The light waves are stream of photons with energy h nu. So that is the condensed form of energy. So when this state of electron which get a sufficient energy to for this transition, it undergo absorptions, and the corresponding energy of photon should be h nu is equal to P2 minus E1. Only at this energy levels this electron will be absorbed and go to the excited state. Similarly, for this transition there will be an emission of photon with frequency h nu. So this is called spontaneous emissions. Now there is a different process which is called stimulated emissions. So this was proposed by Einstein in 1917, which said that when there is an electron at the higher level, just like this electron can go back to the original state, that is the ground level, by stimulated process, where an incoming photon. So this incoming photon can stimulate transition of electron from this level to ground level, so that there will be emission of two photons. So this is the original photon, and there will be another photon will be emitted, so that these two photons will be in phase with each other. So that is called the coherence. So these two photons, the newly formed photon and the original photon, will be emitted in phase with each other. Such radiations are called the laser radiation, where it is a coherent process. So coherence means these two radiation will be always in phase or in constant phase difference, both in time and space. So this process is called stimulated emission, and the laser action is happening because of the stimulated emission process. So coherence is one of the unique feature of the laser light. So other unique features of laser light are, one is the narrow bandwidth. So the laser light has got a very narrow bandwidth, that is called the optical purity of the beam. So if you take the intensity versus frequency graph, the laser light will be like this. So it is having only a narrow band of frequency range. So that's why it is highly purity wave. So because of that, it has got lot of applications, especially for spectroscopy, high resolution spectroscopy, sensors, etc. Whereas the normal light source will be having a broad banded spectrum. If you take the intensity versus frequency, it will be a broad banded spectrum. So that is one of the unique features of the laser. The second one is the this is also called the monochromaticity, because it is having only a single wavelength light source. So that's why it is called the one of the features of the laser light. But there is LED light source also can have monochromaticity, but it is not laser. That is main reason is because it is not coherence. So in LED transmissions, so that is another features of the light, that is the coherence. So in LED, the light will be emitted in different directions, so that it is not the light waves propagating from the source is not in coherence with each other. That's why it doesn't have a coherence, whereas lasers having a highly coherent beam. The third feature is the power. So the laser has a very high power. So if you compare with any other light source, it has got a very high power because of its directionality. So that is also another features. It has got a directionality, and a high frequency, high intensity beam is focusing onto a very small area. Because of that, it has got a high power. So if you compare the power of the power of a 100 milliwatt laser, which will be much higher than the radiation emitted from sun, which is having much lower power. If you compare the power, because it has got a unique feature, because it is focusing, has got a highly directionality, and a high intensity beam is going to focus onto a very small region. So these are the unique features of the laser light source. So the laser is one of the breakthrough invention of the 20th century, and it has got many applications in the area of medical field, for optical transmission, for industrial application, and there are a lot of applications for this laser. We will discuss about that part later. So now we move on to the optical transitions. So we can see that if you have a two energy levels, so whenever there is a two energy levels like this, there will be more number of atoms will be at the ground state. So whenever if you see two energy level systems, the atoms, the electrons will stay at the ground state because it is more stable state. That's why it will always will be at the ground state of the system. So this figure is just for the representation purpose, and if you compare the number of atoms at this level and the excited level, this the number of atoms at the excited level will be always much lower than the number of atoms in the ground level. So this is because this is more stable state. So atoms always like to be stay in the stable region. So whenever there is a transition, it can be used due to the the optical waves like light source. It gets sufficient energy. It can be due to the thermal transitions. It goes to the higher level and it stay back there for a short period. It can be 10 raised to 8 to 10 raised to 9 seconds. After that, it will decay back to the original positions. So that is what is happening. So now consider two energy levels like this, and there is an incoming photon. So this photon is coming to this region. And if you know about the Einstein, according to the Einstein postulate, the probability for stimulated absorption. So this process by which this electron get energy of this photon and going to the higher energy level, that is called the stimulated absorption. So the probability for the stimulated absorption is equal to the probability for stimulated emissions. So there is equal chance for happening these two processes, the stimulated absorption and stimulated emissions. So due to the higher number of atoms at the ground level, there will be always more number of stimulated absorptions than stimulated emissions. So this will be much smaller. So in a laser light, we need to have stimulated emission dominated by absorption process. So in order to have that conditions, we need to have a system where the higher energy state has got more number of atoms than ground level. So for that, we need to have there are certain energy states called metastable states. So this is one of the conditions for laser actions. There should be more number of atoms at the higher level. We cannot create these conditions with two energy level systems, because whenever we give sufficient energy to these electrons, it goes to the higher level, immediately it goes back to the original positions, so that always the number of atoms at the lower level will be much higher than number of atoms in the higher level. So it is not possible to create a laser action with two energy level systems. So we need to have certain levels called metastable state, which has got a longer lifetime. If you compare, this has got a 10 raised to minus 8 second lifetime, and this level has got a lifetime of about 10 raised to minus 5 seconds. So it is much longer than this level. So that from this level we can create a conditions where more number of electrons are at this level compared with the ground level, so that we can create a laser action between these two levels. So in order to excite these electrons from the ground level, we need to give some sources there. So we need to put some energy into this level. So that process is called pumping. So these are the things which we need to have for, in order to have a laser action, we need to have a metastable state. Second condition is we need to pump the electrons at the ground level to the excited level, and this process is called pumping. So there are different way of pumping. Some are electrical way of pumping is there, optical way of pumping is there. So in such a way, the energy will be given to these electrons, and it go to the higher level, and we create a condition there that in the between the metastable state and ground state, there will be laser actions. So these are two conditions to have this laser action. So we need to have a metastable state. In order to have a metastable state, we need to have an active medium. So the active medium means the medium in which we can have this kind of energy levels with metastable states. So that is also one thing. So we need to have an active medium with metastable states. We need to pump this process. This way we can create a condition where more number of atoms are at the excited state at the higher level compared with the ground state, so that we can have a laser action between these two levels. And this process, this is called the population inversion. So this process of we are creating more number of electrons at the higher level compared with the ground state, and that is called the population inversion. So these are certain conditions in order to have a laser actions. We need to have a pumping medium. We need to have an active medium inside, and we should and this active medium should have metastable state, and we should create a condition where there is a population inversions. So these are the basic conditions in order to have a laser actions. So there is another thing. So whenever these electrons go to the higher levels, it decay back to the original level. It can be due to the spontaneous emissions, and these spontaneous emissions can create that can stimulate another emission. So there will be two photons. So there is a decay from higher level to lower level, and one photon is created due to the spontaneous emissions, and this spontaneously emitted photon can stimulate transition from this metastable state to the lower level, so that there will be two photons. So these two photons are coherent with each other. Now these two photons can create stimulated emission of another two electrons at the excited level, and so that there will be four waves like this. So all these four waves are synchronized with each other, which are in phase with each other. That's why that's how this will be multiplied, and there will be beam is propagating through the medium. So we know that whenever a beam is propagating through certain medium, there will be some energy losses, which can be due to the absorption inside the medium. So in order to compensate that, we should have a active medium. So on top of this active medium, we should have some gain mechanism inside this chamber. So that's why we normally use there will be two mirrors. So the cavity, a mirror cavity will be created, where all these processes will be happening inside these two mirror systems, which is called the optical cavity. So the mirror forms the optical cavity, and these photons, which is created due to the stimulated emissions, will be propagating to one side, and one of this mirror will be 100% reflecting. So this will be perfectly reflecting, and other will be partially reflecting. It can be 97 up to 98% reflecting mirror. so that when there is a sufficient energy is created, when these photons propagate between these two mirrors, and when there is a sufficient energy is created, this will be propagating out of this medium as a laser source. So in order to have this laser action, we need to have this kind of conditions. So the basic principle is the stimulated emissions. So in order to have the stimulated emissions, we should create a metastable state. For that, we should have some active medium. So the medium with this kind of energy levels, and in order to pump these electrons from ground state to higher state, we should use a pumping mechanism. So then thereby we create a population inversion, and all this process will be happening inside a chamber with two optical mirrors, that is called the optical resonator, and when there is a sufficient energy form, it will go out of the this chamber as the laser light source. So the laser invention came to be one of the milestone invention of the in the 20th century. Now we will discuss about different milestones in the path. So it was in 1917 Einstein proposed the stimulated emission process. So in his theory, he proposed about the process of stimulated emissions, but it took many years to create it, create the original idea. So it was in 1954. So in 1954, some scientists, they came with MASER, so which is called the microwave activated stimulated emission of radiation. So this is in a different region, in the microwave region. They were able to produce this MASER device, which is based on the stimulated emission. So this device also follow the stimulated emissions. But it was in 1960 only the original laser was that was demonstrated by Mayman, and that is a ruby laser. So it took around 40 years to create the, in order to convert this idea, the theory of Einstein, into the reality. So in 1966, different semiconductor lasers were fabricated, where there are different type of indirect band gap medium which are able to use for the as a lasing medium. So that was another breakthrough, because after that we could create many lasers with different wavelength regions with different powers at very low cost. The main first three milestone in the path of the laser discovery. And in 1970 there was another the scientist Arthur Ashkin. He demonstrated optical teasers where this light source, the laser light source, which can use to manipulate micro-sized particles, for example, of the size of cells. So which was a breakthrough discovery, because we can have the manipulation of biological samples, for example, cell size, in a non-contact way by using the force of laser. So the laser is acting as a force region. Due to that force, the particle can be moved to different region. It can be separated. There are sorting kind of things can be done. So this was another breakthrough invention in the path of this. And in 1982, scientists they were able to demonstrate a new lasers, different type of lasers called based on titanium sapphire. So this is a crystal. The titanium sapphire is a crystal. Using that particular crystal, they were able to demonstrate lasers in the femtosecond and picosecond regions, which were because of that there are a lot of applications to the in the field of material science, in order to consider the molecular dynamics inside a medium. There are a lot of things can be done because, using this the laser with this kind of pulse lasers. In 2010, people start using this titanium sapphire laser for the this kind of studies. They are called the pump spectroscopy, whereby people can understand what is the kind of molecular dynamics inside a kind of materials. Also, if there are two materials combined together, what is happening at the junctions. So this kind of things can be done. People start studying from 2010, and which was very useful for the material science people. In 2015, people use this for 3D printing applications, where we can create microstructure devices based on lasers. So they process the material at the micro-sized regions, so that we can create micro-sized particles. or micro-sized structures. So this will predict to the semiconductor industry, especially for the data storage systems, where we need to have a high storage devices, where we need to create different kind of this kind of micro level conditions. Also, if you want to create some material, so biocompatible material like stent, this can be used. The laser can be used to create micro size these kind of features with different materials. In 2018, these scientists, they got a Nobel Prize for their breakthrough invention of the optical teasers and different application for the lasers. That was in 2018. Regarding applications, lasers are being used for different type of applications. Starting from the laser pointers, people use for the in the shops, they are used for the barcodes as a barcode scanners. There are a lot of different applications, like if you see the printers, laser printers, they also use these kind of things. Then for the CD, the data storage or CD writing, reading area, they use this laser light for recording data and also for reading data. So these kind of things will complement the data storage systems and different devices. In medical applications, if you talk about the medical application, there are a lot of application based on this laser light source in medical. For example, in dermatology area, people use for removing scars or plastic surgery, and if you in eye, people use this for eye surgery, for for manipulating the cornea surface for LASIK treatment. This kind of things people start using for many years, and it can be along with the nanoparticles. This has been used for cancer diagnosis. These kind of things are already there. Now people are thinking about different type of applications. For example, the laser angioplasty. So in laser angioplasty, this laser device will be inserted into the body, into the coronary part using a catheter, and they can they can vaporize the plaque formed inside the artery. So this is also a new kind of things, and people also use for the optical communications. The light source has been used for optical communication for a long time. Now with lasers, it has got different advantages. Like where the light the coded information is implemented into the laser source, so that it can laser communication, that is called the laser communications. So this is possible to transmit to very longer region. So this is in laser communications, the information will be passed from the spacecraft to the different stations in the Earth. So this is one of the new things. There is another thing called the high speed internet. So this laser communication is can be used for the high-speed internet, and NASA is planning to use it for the high-speed internet, where this laser light source will be used for such purpose. So there are a lot of applications and there are a lot of research is going on in this area. People are still studying new things and new type of devices, new for biodiagnosis or for material processing, for 3D processing. There are a lot of things are happening, and this is still going on, and we will see a lot of new systems out of these lasers. Thank you.